Welcome everyone to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here in the Latiners Network, ready to go over all the shows, documentaries, films released on streaming over the past week. Give you best recommendations or non-recommendations as the case may be. And of course, at the end of the show, letting you know what's coming out over the next couple weeks so you too can create your very own watchlist. Joining us as always, live from Houston, Jaime, aka Chewy, what it is, what it was, what it shall be.
Vale, brother.
Vale.
Viva España.
Gallivanting the streets of Spain. We missed a week, but we're back. Nothing's
Had to come back.
changed. His
Had
fantasy
to come
still
back
is
to this
terrible.
crap, dude. Come
His fantasy team is drowning.
on.
And his mine. My teams look like an episode of The Pit. I guess they got released early, not in January, as we were advised in HBO Max. What are you gonna do? With that said, football's still on. We're still gonna watch. We're still gonna have hope, and of course, there's still shows to check out.
Keep hope
Um,
alive.
last week, actually, we not gonna talk about last week's shows, but the only one I kind of would say recommend, Diplomat was cool. I like Diplomat. If you guys are watching that,
Which one?
the Diplomat. Um,
I mean, that's a good show, man. I mean, it's
no, it's
it's
a good show, but I mean, it's been going on. It's not like a new show. If you're watching,
well,
if
well,
you're
yeah.
watching,
This
yeah,
was season 3. I
season three,
assume it got
exactly.
renewed for season 4. I haven't heard anything
It
yet.
did. I heard
Okay,
it.
I thought
Yeah,
so. Good.
so season 4, it's really good. I like that one. And then, but the only, I guess, new show that really stood out, documentary, The Perfect Neighbor, that was really good.
That was a docu movie,
Well, a
right?
docu-film, right. Shot through body worn camera footage, and the cops
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
I think,
Yeah, body
audio
camera,
calls.
phone call. Yeah, it's nothing. Obviously, no recreation, no, live action. It was just strictly from what we got from the body cams for the cops, the phone conversations, and obviously some of the hearings as well from the courtroom
Yeah,
and stuff. So,
I like that. That was
uh,
a good one. Right? I think a neighbor who a little bit unhinged and had a lot of complaints. She had complaints against her neighbors and the
unhinged. I
kids
mean,
in the
Jesus
yard.
Christ, man.
Right, ended up killing one of the moms and all that, and
That's
happened a
your
couple years ago.
prototypical get off my lawn. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
it really is. But it's really well shot. I like the way the presentation was unique in terms of
Yeah.
just again no interviews, not your typical documentary style thing. And it's very recent. This was 2024 when the conviction went down, so maybe a year ago, maybe less.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
So
obviously, it kind of the whole
right,
uh,
stand your ground law down here.
stand
Yeah,
your ground
yeah,
law slash BS excuse to I fear for my life. I'm going to shoot you. Kind of defense that propped up. I think also before that, there was the Tavon Martin uh,
yeah.
case as well, where it was I would say virtually similar as far as okay, he felt threatened and decided to shoot him for whatever reason, even though he wasn't, and I was just that whole law is just a joke, man. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it's interpretations. But listen, ultimately, she was convicted. It's not new. It's not spoiler.
Yes, 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 she was.
So you don't normally see that. So that's interesting. Really cool. That was really well done. I thought that really stood out from 2 weeks ago, whatever the case is. But that said, let's focus on this week, Chewy. And we'll start with a couple documentaries, both on Netflix. First one, Who Killed the Montreal Expos. As clearly as labeled there, it's basically chronicling the events that led to the selling of the Expos from Montreal over to Washington, D.C. If not mistaken. And I think mid 2000s, whatever the case is. Standard stuff. I'm not a big baseball guy, and I will say that this is really meant for baseball people, ultimately. Because I don't think the story is that interesting to be told like this. For me, anyway. It's like, okay, a franchise got moved, and it wasn't like anything heinous or whatever, the usual shenanigans business, whatever, and tanking. And
I
I mean,
mean, yes and
it was
no,
well
because
done. I think if you're a baseball fan, if you're a baseball
yeah,
historian, this is for you. That's what I'm saying, right? If you're not, you can pass on it. You're not gonna miss a whole lot, in my opinion. Chewy.
no, yeah, you're probably right. Because I don't think we're not baseball people, much less. It's not like we had a connection to the Montreal Expos, right? I mean, it's like it's one of these situations that, it just kind of epitomed the issues with baseball at that time. They probably do exist today before revenue sharing, where it was the haves and the have-nots, and the
Yeah.
have-nots trying to get revenue, and if they didn't have a good team, they were doomed because now to the extent that how they got rid of with the new ownership, it was weird ownership. It was a partnership with a bunch of people and a head, and then baseball took over, kind of like what the NBA did with the Pelicans at one point, and it was
Correct.
just, I mean, it was just a debacle. I mean,
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's what happened. Teams get sold for the most part. Let's be honest.
yeah,
And if you want to watch something really good about a team being trying to get sold, Major League. the Cleveland Indians trying to get sold to Miami. That's a great
Oh,
documentary film on baseball with Serrano and company. That's you should be watching that. But this one, whatever. This
obviously, folks, he's in jest, man. That's actually
this
good
is
comedy.
jazz, of course. Uh, but
Don't mess with Jobu, dude.
you know, unless Joe was wrong or Joe himself. But like I said, it's well done. It's just I'm not a baseball guy. That at the end
No,
of the
no,
day,
no,
right?
no.
This is just purely
Interesting,
for the
but
baseball. Yeah,
if you're not a fan of baseball, this is not for you. I mean, just be honest.
100%. The next one is Mob War, three-parter. This was chronicling events of the '90s, where it was mayhem between the mob families going to war and death everywhere, and attempts to clean that up from the authorities. 3 episodes. Chew, your thoughts on this one?
Probably 2 episodes too long.
All right, another great endorsement.
No, I mean, paint by numbers, a lot of interviews, cop procedures, blah blah blah, a lot of murder. This family, whatever. I, 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 I think he's just bored. I mean, I was just bored. Let's be honest. I mean,
No,
we're not here to recommend meh. You
no,
know,
no, no. Listen,
if
I'm
it's
with you.
interesting, we're into it. If subject matter is good, we're into it. This is
Yeah,
just didn't tell us anything new. It's just retelling stories from the '90s. But okay,
yeah.
and,
Look,
and it,
we've been there, done that with this stuff,
yes,
right? We've seen. I mean, I know we watch more than average person, but a lot of these documentaries and mob families, and they're interesting to a point, but then at the same time, it's rinse and repeat. I mean,
yes,
it's the night.
this
It's
got to
just
that
like
this got to that point.
yeah, it's 30 years ago. Again, you watch good mob stuff, go watch Goodfellas. It's just more entertaining.
Fellas.
Major League and Goodfellas. The
Go
story for
watch
today, man.
Casino, dude.
The
Come on.
casino. This is not now we're talking. But it's whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that the interest in the mob is as it was, 15,
Well,
20
I
years
mean,
ago, right? I
until
mean, I guess.
until recent news from a few days ago, the NBA
Well,
gambling situation.
well, that's a more interesting angle, though, as far as I'm concerned, which will be a future documentary on Netflix. I am sure the Chauncey
Yes.
Billups story, along with speaking this a little off topic with the heist at the Louvre. We're gonna see that on Netflix in about 2 years.
Hmm.
But yeah, this one just didn't cut the mustard, obviously, right? So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Let's move on to the shows for the week. The first one, Lazarus. This was on Prime, releasing all 6 episodes. I assume a limited series. Harlan Coben, who we seen heard his name everywhere in his writings and by Netflix shows and, and films that are on there. I guess he actually wrote the series, so it's not based on an established property they had. So we had a psychiatrist who has an interesting past where his young sister was murdered, and his father's also a psychiatrist. And he begins to have visions, or real or not, whatever, of dead people, including his own father. Kind of piecing together clues about his sister's death and other deaths, including his father's, which is deemed a suicide, which may not have been a suicide.
Yeah, and former patient, which I mean, it's the connections
Yeah,
is his
yeah, all
patients,
this,
his
yeah, all his
father's
patients
patients.
patients who were dying, his father's patients, and all that. And he's seeing these visions and talking to these ghosts in his office throughout the show. I got had extra time this week, so I did get to finish this one. I know Chewy, I don't think you finished it all, but you started.
I haven't I
Um,
finished it yet. I took my time. Obviously, I was a
oh
little
yeah,
busy
well you were
in the
busy,
streets of
obviously.
Barcelona.
True.
Sorry.
I'll start with your thoughts on this one. I don't know how many you've seen, but
I've seen 4 out of the
okay,
6 so far.
okay, all right.
Um, and obviously, I got your opinion before I
Mm-hmm.
finished it, so I'm like already like lowered the bar a little bit for the conclusion of this, whether it's limited or not. I mean, the first 4 were, I mean, very interesting premise, very interesting story, right? Kind of murder mystery, but throw in the element of the supernatural, right? We've
Sure.
seen either visions or ghosts. I mean, I think at this point, I think it is ghosts,
It's
but
ghost, I guess. That's what this
yes. Yeah,
portraying,
but
right?
he's not
It's
hallucinating,
no,
right?
no.
Okay, so that's him. So like I said, supernatural element to it, and try to solve the crime and what happened with not only his sister, but a lot of these murders, right? Because he's obviously not going back, and the police gets involved. So it's very interesting. But the way you described the conclusion as unsatisfactory, I'm afraid that's where I'm headed at. Because actually, you already set it up for me. Like you already tell me this is
Yeah, I
not,
mean,
you know what I mean?
yeah, it's hard for me to recommend this show. Like the premise; it's cool. You hear the premise. It's Halloween time, right? So this kind of
Hmm.
shows will track, seeing the ghost and whatever, and telling what's going on. As far we're telling him part of the story, and he's trying to piece things together and clue it up. So it's murder mystery kind of involved. I like the premise, good idea, and it starts off well. I mean, I said first 4 or 5 episodes. Okay, I was like, where was it going? You know, it wasn't great, but it was solid. Wish I had a little more horror elements to it, particularly with the ghost, but fair enough. It's personal taste. But yeah, the ending just, man, it's terrible. Just a couple swerves in there, just like, really, this is what we're doing. At the very, very end, ridiculous. And then just the worst part of it is it's not really a spoiler, but the visions and all that he's having, or this ghost or whatever. It's pointless at the end of the day. It doesn't go anywhere. There's no explanation as to why. That's not part of the mystery. It's just happening, and it's like, well, what was the point of him having these visions for? And goes completely unexplained, and it kind of began with the whole table thing that I know what I'm talking about, with the table that it kept showing in the picture.
Yeah.
Like that maybe some kind of gateway or something like that or whatever, right, between these ghosts, and maybe there's a connection there, and that's why he's seen this bit. None of that's explored. And at the end of the day, you could have taken the whole ghost part angle out completely, and the show would have been exactly the same, because the father reveals something to him to help him solve the mystery, right? Something that he had in the office. He could have just found that in the office and used these things, and like I spoiled it, use these things to piece things together. The ghost was just there as a gimmick, and it undercut the whole thing. Not besides the fact that the ending was ridiculous anyway. But that was my issue. If you're going to do a show about supernatural, then explore the supernatural. What's up with the supernatural? Why is he having these things? Why is it important, right? And he needed supernatural to solve these crimes. He didn't need that, and that was my problem. So basically, you wasted time. You could have just gone to the point where he found what his dad told him to find, and that gave him everything laid out. That was the issue with that. You're gonna find out. You're like, that was a waste of time. That was my issue with the show. Cool premise, but it's just executed shit like shit. It's just it is what it is. And if you haven't started, if you've already started, finish it.
Yeah.
Obviously, for those that if you haven't started, I don't think this is one I'm recommending, to be honest with you. It's just it's very bothersome for me. The next one, this is a show we're fans of, season 2. Nobody Wants This, right? It's a surprise show on Netflix, kind of romantic comedy. Adam Brody, if I'm saying right, Kristen Bell. Brody's a rabbi. He meets, kind of, I don't say an atheist, was the right word, but whatever. And Kristen Bell,
a non-Jewish,
non-Jewish, whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
She's not religious at all.
I mean, non-denominational. Maybe she is. I'm not sure. I mean, they haven't really explain what her religious beliefs are, but she's not Jewish, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Period. Right. And so obviously when you're Jewish, there's the traditions to be with a Jewish individual, particularly when you're trying to be a rabbi and he has aspirations.
Or an individual willing to convert to Judaism, essentially.
Well, right, yeah, exactly. And that's where the rub goes, and that's the elephant in the room with this one. But it's a funny show. My wife watched this, so henceforth we finished watching it because she is a streaming slut, and that's just how it works. So we went through all 10 episodes. It's only 20-some minutes each, but whatever. I enjoyed it. It was cool. I liked it. I liked where it ended up. I look great characters with both siblings are great. And then with Morgan, her sister, and his brothers, I think it's hilarious.
Yes.
It's a fun show, man. It really is surprisingly good show because this is not really my cup of tea, but this one kind of hits. Chewy.
No, man, I enjoy it. I'm taking it one day at a time. So I enjoy. I like sipping my meal, enjoying it, my appetizer and everything.
This is buffet, which is all you can eat at this point. All right, well,
salvajes.
Keep on watching it. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, this is just as good as season 1. It's funny. It's heartfelt. A lot of interesting stories. A lot of interesting characters. Right, the parents. The mom.
The mom is great. Yeah.
The boyfriend / former psychiatrist. I mean, it just keeps introducing new elements into the show and just keeps it fresh and funny.
And it feels real to some degree.
Yes.
As outrageous as it could be, it still feels real, which just makes it really cool. So yeah, this is a high recommend. And it's a short, with 27 minutes.
It's a short episode. So
this is when it was something funny and kind of light. You watch with the missus or whoever. You can put this on. I think you're gonna get something out of it for sure. Hope the season. I don't know season 3 yet. I hope there is.
Well, I mean, I would assume so, but you never know. The numbers. It's gotta have numbers, right?
Right. You never with Netflix. I don't know, but I hope it does. So because again, it's a very fun show on that one. And we'll stick with Netflix on the last one. A movie now. Catherine Bigelow, director, Academy Award-winning director, mind you. House of Dynamite. This was actually released in theaters, limited release, so that speaks volumes of how they feel about the film. Idris Elba's in this. Jason Clarke, who's been eating everywhere apparently. He's got the show on Hulu. He's got the 1.5 plus. And
Oh,
just
that's right.
enjoy.
He's also on Hulu. Holy cow, that's right. He's
Yeah,
everywhere,
so,
man.
so he's been talking about buffet. He's eating very well. Just like a Ferguson, of course, from Silo and the Mission Impossible series. A lot of big names here. This one here, it's a political thriller, I guess, where they discover a missile launched and approaching the U.S. within 20 minutes or whatever the case
Yeah, for
is,
20
in
minutes. Yeah.
the greater Chicago area. So casualties are, at a maximum, I guess millions could end up potentially dying, and then the focus on the separate government groups, whether Northcom, Southcom, whatever, whatever these abbreviations are. They're trying to hopefully deter, figure out is it real, who sent that out, and what's the retaliation upon impact, right? And it kind of three different perspectives from different organizations, and then of course from the presidency himself, which is Idris Elba. Chewy, your thoughts on this one?
I initially liked it
Okay.
until the end.
I
I
knew that.
was
I knew that was going to be something.
absolutely horrified at the ending because it doesn't give you an ending. I hate
Okay.
look. I mean, doesn't tie up any. It does not tie. There's one thing of leaving loose ends and leaving to interpretation, right? Okay, fine. There is no leave anything for interpretation here. It's like they literally. I would have been happy if he would have just made a decision, not show anything else, right? They don't show, show the bombing,
Okay.
but make a decision, and whatever the ramifications, that's not part of the movie. But at least don't just leave it where, okay, they're waiting for him to say something, and it's over. And I cannot stand that. I'm sorry, I hate it. I love watching the movie, and then I
Yeah.
got to get everyone's perspectives because they do kind of like they throw it from three different perspectives type right situations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we literally get nothing. Literally, it ends. People going to the Pennsylvania super bunker, and that's it. And I was like,
Yeah.
"What
And
the
and
fuck
the
is
bomb,
this?"
obviously the bomb does say it's alluded to the fact that not that, and they don't have to show it. That's
Well,
not a problem.
it's alluded by saying but it's done
I
in
mean,
a way it's like that is open to per interpretation because
well, I
you
guess that's well.
we don't know if it actually did or if it, because there's a one line in there saying there's a chance it could be a dud, blah blah blah,
Well, I think
right?
it shows someone's reaction who they in the first perspective who is in a position of how you feel. It looks like it did hit. I mean, again, interpreting
Yeah,
the
but
individual's
but
reaction,
but
but
they don't make like I said. They present all these options and they leave you. It's one of these "what would you do" type situation, and
right.
that's not what I want from a movie. I mean, give me a story. Don't leave it to me to say what would I do. I don't need, if I want what would I do, I'll just study history. I don't need a movie to put that in front of me and say, okay, well, what is he gonna do? And because anyone can make the argument. It's like, what is the rush to retaliate the very second, like within 30 seconds of whatever's going to happen or before it happens, right? As if that's going to change anything, right? Let's be honest. If it hits, whether you retaliate in a minute, a day, a week, a year, that doesn't change anything. It doesn't stop what's going to happen, right? And everyone's like rushed to judgment, and that's what this whole movie is. Rush to judgment, right? Because they know nothing, and they even make it clear in the movie. It's like, well, we don't know. I'm just guessing. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing. Well, we have to assume,
Right.
but I'm guessing. That everyone keeps saying, I'm guessing. No one knows anything. So like,
It,
what the fuck?
which is I thought they yeah. I mean, I'm with you 100%. I wish I could. It's at the end of it was really good to a certain point. Like it was tense. I like the perspectives and the idea of okay, what will really happen if the situation were to come to fruition, right? It's like, listen, there's a bomb coming. Okay, what can you do? What can you say? And the public doesn't know. And then behind the scenes, what the government, the presidency, all the chief of staffs, and what they're all thinking, and why should they respond, right? That's what's our response, and that's interesting. And I like that, like particularly with Idris Elba's perspective in the end, right in the third act. But yeah, it's like you do all that, right? You're showing us the difficulties of the journey to come to whatever decision they can come to, and then don't give us that decision. You know what I'm saying? And the bomb hitting that's irrelevant because I think it was going to hit. The
Yeah, you have
point
to
that
assume it was real.
right,
That
you're gonna
wasn't a
assume it's
fake.
right
At,
exactly.
at first, I thought, okay, is this someone just playing a simulation just to get the
Oh,
reaction?
right, sure, that's possible.
Especially
Yeah,
after the second act, because they got it rewind. It's like, okay, someone just doing a simulation just to get how people live situation reaction
right.
type thing, right? At the end, say no, this is simulation. It's just test, preparedness test, whatever. Um, and but I guess it wasn't. But it's just I don't know, man. It's, like I said, no decision, and that leaves a very sour taste in my
It
mouth. Where
does, because it was really well
it kind
done.
of ruins it. It literally ruins it for me.
Yeah, it was
I'd have
really
been
well done
happy
too.
saying, okay, here's his decision, and that's it. At
Right,
least he
right or
made a
wrong, right?
decision.
Yeah,
Either way,
agree to
say,
disagree. Right,
now let's hold and end it, or
yeah,
okay, here's you go attack and end it.
right,
Not
and end it because a bleak
yes,
ending is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Because it fits with what's going on, right? Okay, makes sense, right? You know, who knows what we're in that position. That's the point of the film. But will we make that call? Who will make the call? You got an atomic bomb. You got to retaliate, or maybe not. I don't know, right? Or whatever. The knee jerk reaction is to retaliate before things
yeah,
escalate worse, right?
but
Send a message. So I
thing
get that. I get that.
that's
Right or
another
wrong.
issue. Is
Yeah.
like who do we retaliate? Well, we don't even know who the fuck is involved. So basically, it's like the fuck the world. We get hit and attack everybody. Well, that
Oh
absolutely makes no
no,
sense.
of course,
No
but
sense
that's
whatsoever.
the thought process. You can see those who were there's two camps, right? The retaliating, those that don't. I think that's what makes it interesting. So I get that. I do get, this is not just someone invading a fucking piece of land. This is an act of war, right? Accident or not. But yeah, they need more information. But either way, they should have made a decision. I thought it was really good up until that point. Unfortunately, it just didn't end well because it was really well done. I like the perspective. It's different, right? It doesn't like save the world, apocalyptic kind of thing. It's not about that at all. It's about the behind the scenes and all that. It isn't like, Armageddon and shit. And, it's try to stop the missile. No, right? There is no stopping it to a degree. They tried, but the contingencies weren't successful, right? But yeah, what a shame. It was kind of a shame, dude. I was really enjoying it. I was on the plane. I said, man, this was actually pretty good. And okay, what's going on here? With the credits roll, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Boo, boo.
Yeah, I don't know, forging. He's a good director. It just wasn't, pieced together at the end. It's a shame. I know it's got some really good reviews, and I get it, but I have heard the ending is kind of an issue. So
Yes,
and I agree 100% with that.
yes.
Again, not a. Well, I guess I don't know if I recommend this or not. I would say I would recommend just because you can make your own determination ultimately, because
I mean,
the journey to that point is well done, and
the
maybe
journey is
it,
good.
it, it may not
The
bother some
payoff
people.
is poor.
Right, some people may
Yeah.
not think that, might disagree with the payoff. Right, we talk about endings even with Lazarus, right? Maybe you feel different when you watch it. Okay, maybe, right, possible. Maybe you think, no, it's good. Okay, fair enough. So because of that, because everything else was really good up until the last 10 seconds or 30 seconds, right? So it's a 2 hour movie. Whatever, does 30 seconds ruin it? Maybe, right? And I think that's a judgment call ultimately for who you are. So, but yeah, like I said, it is what it is. Next week, man. Next couple weeks, a lot of stuff coming out. 3 shows today, actually, on the 26th. First, on Amazon.
Oh,
We got
no boys talk, nothing. Do you like it? You hated it? What?
um. Fair enough. Gen V. The Gen was good. It was a good season.
I'm
Gen V.
sorry, Gen V. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you meant. It's two boys.
To me, this is
2.0.
all the boys. This is all the boys.
It's still the boys,
Call
right?
it
It's the
Gen V,
same
call it
vibe. Yeah.
whatever. It's the boys.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was great, but it was fun. The usual what we like from the boys is in here, like the characters. I think it ended well, and it really set up the final season of the boys. This is basically what this was set up for, as opposed to being its own thing, right? I like to see this
Yes,
kind of be its own thing, but I get why it's hard to make it its own thing because
it's in a
it's all
connected
still kind of
universe.
tied. Yeah, it's tied
Yes.
together, and because the boys is ending is
You
like
can't pretend that the events
right,
outside are influencing these characters and vice versa, right? Because
exactly.
they live in
Yeah,
this world,
yeah.
so it has to be
It
it
has to
has to
be that
be
way. Yeah.
yeah, it has to be a connectivity where you maybe don't have to spend too much bringing the cameos every other episode. Just could see Black Mara even again at the end.
True, true. I like that.
But they did it in a way that like with the deep, right? I mean that was hilarious, right? Him making
Absolutely.
of
Yeah.
the lead, whatever the
The
fraternity.
fraternity, yeah, whatever.
I don't know. Like he's in every picture. He's been there
Yeah.
forever. You can't get away from it and stuff. Um, but like I said, we've done well in that respect of trying to connect it all together, but still focusing on these set of characters, right?
Right. No, yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's well done. It's a good show. It's just
Yeah.
again, it's a good way for you to kind of get yourself ready for the finale, right? As far as the boys and because this is kind of Homer. If you're a fan of the boys, you probably, if you haven't seen Gen V, I'll see how it plays out. But I think you probably need to watch Gen V, right, to really fully understand what's going on. That's my thing, and I don't like when you have to do homework for these shows.
I
Keep,
mean,
keep,
probably. I mean, because they're going to be
it seems that
involved.
way, right?
Clearly, they'd be
Heavy involved.
involved
Yes,
because even we got the A Train cameo at the end, and so obviously
right.
it's a bigger team now
That's
of
what I'm
folks.
saying. Yeah. And now you're taking these characters from this show onto
Yeah,
this one, right? And it's not like you have time to introduce them. They're gonna go full steam ahead.
yeah.
So if you are a fan of the boys, I would strongly suggest you watch this. It's a good show. It really is. But watch this because I think it's gonna make the finale
Mhm.
funner, better, and easier to
Because
understand.
I mean this tied into the season 4 of the boys as well, right? Where we're
Yes.
talking about the virus, and this
Mm-hmm.
all this is explained in Gen V, first season of Gen V, and then obviously it picked up season 4 of the boys and went further, and this is now taking the ball from what happened at the end of 4. And it's like I said, this is all part of the. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is all part of the boys. It's different seasons of the boys, right?
It really is a season exactly.
Mm.
So this is if you for man that we haven't seen Gen V, I always urge you to watch Gen V, and that's because yes, it's what you may need for the story, but it's still a good show regardless, right?
Mhm.
If you're not watching it.
And the villain was great, man. I mean, this was
Oh
they
no, he had a
did fix it.
really good villain. Yes,
We don't help Homeland is the main villain of the whole
yeah.
series, but and within this show they had its own villain, and then there was nice twists.
Mm.
Do I feel bad that we have to kill a villain in this season? Yeah, because I mean I probably want to see him stick around maybe, but whatever.
Only which it goes back to I think it had to because what the whole these series are heading towards the end, so I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I get it, but which way keep it separate, that would have changed. But listen, but yeah, this show has great villains.
Mm,
It always has, and this is no exception for
absolutely,
sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. So listen, it's still a good show. I still enjoyed it for sure, no doubt. Um, but next week, man. So we
Now
got
the next couple of
oh,
weeks,
next couple weeks we got Talamasca, from
the
Taylor.
Anne
I don't know.
Rice
Yeah,
universe,
and the rest
from the
universe,
interview with the vampire and witches
which is
of
yeah, which is one big fan
yeah,
of. Any Vampire was great.
yes.
Yeah, this one here I guess is a team that's investigating,
Well,
supernatural
this is a
stuff. I
secret
guess.
society that kind of
Yeah,
it keep tabs
keep
on
tabs on like
the
werewolves and
vampires,
whatever
werewolf, which
vampires.
all
Yeah.
this everything. That's why it's all connected. Yes.
Yeah, so this could be an interesting show. AMC starting today as well. Paramount, Mayor of Kingstown entering its
Hmm.
fourth season. Jamie Renner, of course. Hawkeye is a really good show. Of course, like the last season, the way it ended, and it's picking off. I guess from the events of that, I would assume. I don't know how if they're gonna do a time jump
Yeah,
or anything like
probably.
that. But yeah, I know there's like a new warden coming in who's gonna
Yeah,
throw
85 co. Yeah.
who's gonna throw a little wrench in the engine there. And today we got on HBO as well the third show coming out today, and that's Welcome to Derry, of course, from the It franchise. I'm very excited.
Eh,
Stephen King.
I'll watch it. Nothing
It's
else
got
on.
it's got some good reviews. It's on Sunday night. It's a marquee lineup. It's on the Sunday night marquee, dude. It's gotta mean something for whatever. They didn't put it on Thursday.
Well,
They didn't put
I
it on
get you.
Thursday for whatever it's worth. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
not saying the show's gonna be good because of it, but it does show confidence from HBO, right?
Mm.
So that comes off. If you're a fan of Stephen King, fan of this is probably one you probably want to check out. On Disney, in the 29th, we got Star Wars Visions, another season of that. It's kind of the animated show from Star Wars.
Yeah, that's
It's been solid. Yeah.
it's that's the what's it called? The oh, I can't remember the word. Go ahead.
Anthology? No,
Yes, anthology. Thank you very
okay.
much. Yes,
Anthology
series and
series. Yeah.
different animation styles, different stories. There's some canon, some not canon, but just an interesting take on the
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's an take, and it's been enjoyable. Again, some hits, some misses. Like with any anthology, it's kind of how it goes.
Mhm.
On the 29th, we got a few things. First one is a Ballad of a Small Player. It's a movie
Movie.
also from
Yes.
Netflix, which I guess is going to get in a theatrical run as well. Colin Farrell on this one. I love Colin Farrell, of course, coming off his Emmy award-winning portrayal
Hey man,
of Penguin.
any
You know,
any show or movie that has a little gambling, a little
little
poker action,
gambling,
I'm
sure,
all in,
yeah,
dude.
exactly. So this looks interesting. So I'm be all over this one. On the 29th, we got Down Cemetery Road. I forget what this
Apple.
one's about. Chewy, it is an Apple Plus, and we like Apple Plus. But what is? Trying to
I
remember
have
what.
no idea because I don't watch the trailers on that,
You
but
haven't watched
it's
the
kind of see
trailer,
what's coming
so
up, and I trust Apple so much. I don't usually watch the trailers anymore. I say, oh, this okay, it's coming out. Okay, what type is it? Okay, I'll watch and see.
oh, it's because a missing child. Okay, and it's an investigation about a missing child kind of thing. Okay, and it's a military conspiracy along with that. So interesting. Netflix, we got the return of The Witcher. We got to go back to tossing all
Toss a
coins
coin, baby.
as it is. So
Burn,
you know,
Witcher, burn.
no Henry Cavill. We got entering the youngest Hemsworth brother in here. So I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, whatever. I saw a trailer. I wasn't impressed. The last season was at best.
Well, last season was
It's kind of a mess,
the
I think.
last episode was ill placed. I think is what it. Here's a issue with bad endings, right? I mean, it was good, and
Yeah,
then they're doing the last episode, which is completely unnecessary, and
it's
maybe should have
weird.
been left for this season because
It
it just
was it was
yeah
weird. Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, listen, I'm still a fan of the show. End up watching it. Hopefully, well, I don't think it's the last season. To be honest, but maybe it is. It could be. This potentially could be the last one because I got a feeling people may bail on this one. They haven't already. And then on the 30th, we got Eileen, the Queen of the Serial Killers. This is a docu-film, I believe. I
I'm
think,
not sure if it's
or
film or
it could be a series.
series.
I don't know,
Yes,
documentary just focusing on talking about serial killers, but this one's, I guess, a woman serial killer, which you don't see very often,
but
right?
this was a dramatization, I believe,
Oh,
if
it's a
I'm not
drama. Okay,
mistaken.
all
Yeah,
right.
there
So,
was a movie about her with came out a while ago, maybe early 2000s with Charlize
oh,
Theron.
show Monster. Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
So this is the true telling of that story,
yes.
So it could be interesting. If people like the true crime stuff, there you go. The following week, we got MGM. So I think I read a story that they're gaming up to 12 subscribers. So good for them. So they're climbing the charts. So for those 12 out there, including yourself, Chewy, you got Robin Hood, another series about Robin Hood, self-explanatory, I guess.
Another season about Robin. Okay, good. No men in
All right,
tights.
whatever, fine, I guess. We got on HBO. It's not the Marquise. It's on a Thursday release. Not to say it can't be good or bad. But I Love LA is the name of the series. This one I'm not too familiar with as far as what
I think
it's
it's
about.
comedy. It's comedy, so 30-minute episodes. But that's the extent of what I know about what's coming on.
That's interesting. You see, also a group of friends gather after years apart and yada 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 relationships and okay, yeah, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
HBO. I like HBO. Don't get me wrong. On the 14th, Alt Fair. This is a new series. There's another one I'm not 100% familiar on. I think it's about a firm of female attorneys. From what I understand, that's the basis of it. That's all I
Yes,
know.
yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Fair enough. On the 4th, we have Squid Game, the reality show, the
Yeah,
challenge
yeah,
show.
not the show,
Not
but
the
the
show, right?
reality, the reality. So season two.
Season two. This the first one was actually a big surprise, and we don't normally do reality shows on here, but this one's actually was done very well, right?
Yes.
Taking the concept of it and really kind of making its own, and really good drama, really interesting in things that happen in there. There's no death, obviously. But I
And
really like that one.
just as brutal as far as elimination, the
Yes,
eliminations,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like there's a lot of probably too much luck involved in this. There's not so much. I mean, obviously there's skill elements and stuff, but
Sure.
some of the things were like just literally random, right? Like I think that last season they had someone that had to pick two people to eliminate right
Oh,
after,
that's
like
right.
after the first thing. Just so it's like picking two people, like what the fuck.
Yeah, it makes it kind of throws things off balance. It's interesting
Yes,
because
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
you don't know
Because
what to expect as far as what they're going to do. So they did a really good job. I was really impressed with this one. So I'm looking forward to the second season of this one. On the 16th, we got Death by Lightning. This is a dramatization of, I guess,
yes,
James Garfield's
Garfield,
president. Yeah,
James
for
Garfield, yes.
which I don't know what president he was, but whatever.
The infamous James Garfield. I don't know who he is.
I guess it's an interesting choice to make a show on as far as James
Well, I
Garfield
mean,
as
it was
actually
this.
the
I
known
think that the
president.
focus is because he was assassinated.
Right.
Right. So there's only a handful that have been assassinated. A
Well,
lot of attempts, but I
true.
think he had some sort of friendship with the perpetrator actually. So he was known to him. And so there's obviously an interesting story behind that.
No, look, Michael Shannon, who's I like, is
Oh,
in
we
this,
love Michael
so
Shannon, dude. Yeah.
for sure. So Nick Offerman, another individual who I like a lot. This will be really good. As well, sometimes the subject matter may not be interesting, but they make it interesting.
Mm.
So hopefully that's the case here. Because again, that's not the president you think of about. Ooh, I can't wait to see a show about this guy. I mean,
I mean,
let's
yeah,
be honest, right? Let's
he's not on my top 10 list, but okay,
no,
sure, why
it
not?
ain't top 20. But again, doesn't mean the show can't be good if they do it right. Then that's fine. So I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. And then on Apple Plus, we got an interesting one. Vince Gilligan returns here, of course, Breaking Bad fame, Better Call Saul, stellar shows. Pluribus, interesting show. The trailers don't give a lot, a lot
Interesting, gonna give you anything, dude.
at all. So
Absolutely anything. All we know
massive.
is like she's an individual, Ray Seahorn, who obviously from Better Call Saul
Better
as
Call,
well.
right?
Um, She is tasked with saving the world from happening, something to that effect, and
Well,
that's all we know.
when I read is that the trailer, I was like, let me see the trailer. Like, okay, I don't know what the show
Yeah,
is,
they don't give you anything.
which is a shame because I think that's a bad trailer. You have to let us know what's going on, right? But whatever, it's Apple Plus. I don't care. I'll watch it.
Well,
And it's
obviously
Vince
they're
Gilligan, right?
playing up that it's from the creator
Correct.
of
Yeah.
Breaking
Yeah.
Bad
And
and
that might
Better
be
Call
enough to get,
Saul.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough to get butts and seats, potentially.
Yes.
But when I understand she is the world's most miserable person,
Yes.
and now she's tasked to save the world from, I guess, a virus which makes everyone the happiest people out there.
Yes.
Um, I'm not sure what that looks like. It sounds like a comedy, I guess. I don't know, but the trailer doesn't really make it seem like a
I don't know
comedy.
how funny that
I,
is, dude. To be honest with you.
I mean, just misery. I don't know. I mean, I'm
I mean,
curious.
Better Call Saul wasn't a comedy, but they had a lot of funny stuff in
A
there.
lot of
So
funny
maybe it's like
moments.
that.
That's what I'm saying, right? I'm interested because of the people behind it,
Mhm.
right? If I was seeing this trailer, I'd be like, "What is this?" And what I'm
Yeah.
saying, let's
What am I watching? Yes.
yeah. So hopefully, like I said, I mean, this one I anticipate dropping at least 3 episodes, maybe
I mean, it's
two.
kind of like when
Yeah,
we saw the trailer for Severance, they didn't give much because you couldn't because you give anything
that's
away and
fair.
it ruins the show. And so
Totally
you
fair.
saw the trailer for Severance and you're like, what the hell is this? What am I watching, right?
Yeah,
And you start watching it and you can't help but to dive into that world. You go down the rabbit hole very easily and you
yeah.
love doing it because it's so interesting.
And that was a word of mouth show, ultimately,
Mhm.
right? So this one, hopefully, it's the same, right? 'Cause it's not like everyone was rushing. We knew what Ted Lasso was about. You either want to watch it or
Oh
not, or
well, yeah,
whatever.
because there was already a built up.
Right, but
There
even
was
before,
the commercial,
you
and
know
so
what the
let's take
show
that
was,
commercial,
right?
expand
Yeah,
it, kind of like with Chad Powers, right? There was
right,
a Eli Manning
yes,
skits. You kind of got an idea, but now we expand it into a show and kind of build it out and give us backstory and making it
right.
an
It's easy to
enjoyable
get,
funny watch.
it's easier to get eyes on those shows and whatever. But this one is interesting. And Severance the same way. Severance didn't come out like, oh, everyone's dying for Severance. What
Mhm.
the hell is this show? And then it built up. Hopefully it's the same way. But I'm very curious. People behind it. This could be an interesting show. I mean, hopefully give us at least 2 episodes, just to kind of get into it. Because I think this is
With
the
the
kind of
appetite,
show
yeah.
may need 2 or 3 episodes to really get into it. I'm thinking. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. But that said, that's what it is for the week. I hope you guys enjoy your football. Help us out. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like, help out the channel. We'll see you guys next Sunday right here on Latin News Network.
Peace.